Good morning. Today I'm going to be making a card with the Wonderful Romance set, and this can be a sympathy card. Today I'm going to be making one that says, if I can remember, Happy Anniversary. This could also be a very pretty wedding card. Okay, so let's get started, and I'm going to give you a demonstration on different types of medium that you can use to color the main pieces of the card. So the card base is in basic gray with white, and I have stamped some of the little flowers from the set on the inside in Versamark and heat set them with gold embossing powder. And I've done the same for the rest of the card. It's all heat embossed with gold embossing powder. Wonderful Romance is the set we're going to be using. We're going to be using these three and the little flower. And you could also make this a Thinking of You card. I'm going to be using Beautiful Bouquet for the Happy Anniversary saying. I'm going to be using the stitched frame dies, rectangle frame dies, and I've already cut out the pieces. The pieces are going to be the inside of the card, the base, a white piece for framing, then another piece with your sentiment, and that we're going to place the design down, some of them with dimensionals and some of them just basically these two are going to be glued down or taped down, whatever you prefer, and this one will be on dimensionals to set up over the top of it. But it's basically that's how you put it together, and it's going to be very simple. But I want to show you, I was going to show you on this piece, but I'm going to save this piece for someone to color, and I'm going to show you on this piece of paper what you can use if you don't have the all-purpose inks in Frost White or Champagne, which is what I used on this card. And if you don't have those, for the center of the flowers, by the way, I used some just little dots of white acrylic paint. You can use a gel pen or whatever else you have that you want to make it a little bit brighter white for the center of the flowers. So I'm going to show you several different mediums to use if you don't have these. I'll start with these and show you how they're going to go on and look. And I've just taken an old open flower so that you can see the different ones. So the first one we're going to be doing is the Frost White and the Champagne. So I'm just going to open this up and I'm going to paint from the lid, and I'm going to use this small, this is a number 10 0 round brush, just a little bit of water, and take a little bit of the paint, and I'm just going to paint half of this petal with the white, and the other half with the Champagne. And this way, when I'm done, you can compare. And if you don't have these paints or don't have time to get them by the time the class starts, then you can try to use whatever medium you have on hand if you have the items that I'm going to show you. Otherwise, you could probably try some other medium that you have on hand. But so there's the white is in the center, and then this is the Champagne. And so we'll just let that dry while we work on the others. And once again, I used just a small paintbrush with water. Now, you don't want to get too much water in these paints. So normally what you would do would be pour a little bit out in a palette so that you're not constantly taking your brush, putting it in water, and then dipping it in your paint. That will dilute the paint too much. Okay, so the second one that I have are, I'm sorry, my granddaughter borrowed my photopolymer, polychromo, I'm sorry, pencils. And so these are my old Prismacolor, well used. And so I'm just going to show you a little bit. I don't have a gold color in this pencils set, so I'm just going to color with the white, and then this sienna, I believe, yeah, this is kind of a terra sienna color. And then to make that shine, I'm going to use some Wink of Stella. So I have a Wink of Stella pen here, and this is a clear. And so you would want to put it on the white first, and then move over to your brown color. And that gives it a nice shimmer and glow while it's wet. But let's wait and see what it looks like when it dries. And then clean off your Wink of Stella brush. Okay, it gives a different flavor to it. If you had a lighter brown pen, it might be more towards the gold tone, but that's the effect that you would get if you used a sienna colored pencil. My other pencils are watercolor, the sets that I have, and I didn't want to use watercolor because it would blend and mix, and you don't want to do that. Okay, so number 3 is going to be the Prismacolor pencils again, and I'm going to color half of the petal white and half of the petal with the brown again, and I'll try to go a little bit lighter here. It doesn't have to be really dark. Okay, and then we're going to use metallic pearl white paint. Now you can pick this up. This is Folk Art, metallic pearl white, and I picked this up at, I think you can get this at Walmart or Hobby Lobby, or even at Michael's. So they carry all the different acrylic paints. So I'm going to take a little bit of that and put it on a palette with some of my water. And I'm just going to go over the white first. And this is white, so it's white metallic. So then I'm going to clean my brush off. I'm going to take another little dab of, I don't know if, sorry if you can see that, it's got a little bubble there. And I'm going to mix it on my little palette here with some water, more water than I had for the first one. And hopefully that will take out some of the color so that when I put it on the brown over here, it stays a little more on the brown side than on the white side. Okay, so there's that one. And then for the fourth one, I'm going to use the colored pencils again. And I am going to get my pencils back from my granddaughter, because those would have made, there's far more many choices in color range. Probably would have made a better demonstration. Okay, so any colored pencil will do as long as it's not a watercolor pencil. All right, so for this one, I'm going to put stickles on there. Now, I thought that this would work, but I have to say that the stickles was a little thick. So I'm going to put the stickles on my palette, just a little blob of it there. And I'm going to take my brush, and if you use your good brushes for this, you really need to clean them because stickles has glue in it. So I'm just going to take a little bit of that and mix it with the water. So This is going to tame it down a little bit, but you're going to find that the glitter in there is quite chunky, but it's not really coming off onto the paper as well. When it's mixed, you can see that it sparkles. I don't know if you can see that or not. It sparkles a little bit, but a whole different look to the coloring. And I would have gone a little lighter, I think, on that brown when I put it on to kind of lighten it up a little bit. Okay, so those are the 4 ways to color that if all you have are colored pencils, you can use either Wink of Stella, which is here, and it's absolutely lovely, or the original metallics are, these all-purpose inks are just wonderful. I recommend getting those and keeping them in your stash. They come in very, very handy. They have a little ball bearing in them, so they won't go dry, and you can just shake them up and continue to use them. I wasn't crazy about the metallic pearl paint that you can get for $1 or $2 at the craft store. It was just too thick and overbearing, and it doesn't give the shine that I like. The Stickles is okay, but it's a totally different look than what I was going for. Okay, so there's a little demonstration on what you can use if you don't have the metallic inks. I call them metallic inks, but they're called all-purpose ink. These are by Tucinco or Sucinco. I'm not quite sure how you say that, but they make a lot of the ink pads and things that are popular. All right, so there's the demonstration on that. And for the particular card itself, I'm not going to go ahead and color this. I'm just going to set that aside. I'm not going to color this one either, but I will show you that you can have a separate sentiment at the top, whatever sentiment you need or want at the time. And you're going to place this one down and glue it down there. And this one you're going to let overhang, so be sure to put your backing piece on first and then put it on the card base. And you're going to let this hang over quite a bit, not over the edge of the card, but I'm going to say probably about like that. Okay, so that it hangs over to the edge of the card here and almost to the edge of the card there. And then this one you'll put on dimensionals after it's been colored, and then you'll place that down here so that you can see these behind it. And that one, of course, can go like that. So pretty simple. I just wanted to show you the various ways that you can color the flowers, and it will give it a different look, the leaves and the flowers. So all of the flowers are painted white, and all of the leaves are painted with the champagne. Okay, so any questions, as usual, just let me know, and happy crafting.